Happy Friday. We're back now in the kitchen with Chef Chris Hill from Bachelor Kitchen, and he's making his unique version of chicken and waffles. Where are we going to get started? I mean, I know you made a little plate up here, which is it's calling me, but we've got to go back to the basics, back to step one. So how do we put this all together?
Well, I've kind of gotten the batter started, and I actually have some here because you want to let it sit for a couple minutes. But maybe I'll let you finish off. You want to add all the dry ingredients.
Okay.
Already in here, I have some kosher salt, some sugar. That's some baking powder.
Okay.
Add that. That's about a tablespoon or so.
Just about. You want me to eyeball this? Oh,
yeah.
goodness. I don't know. Is that about right? Okay.
And here I have a couple eggs whisked in there with some buttermilk. Add that butter, which is already melted.
To this mixture.
Yep. Then.
So tell us about your batter. What makes this batter? What's going to make it stick, and what's going to make it?
So a pancake versus a waffle batter. Pancakes are a lot fluffier, almost like you think cakes, right? Waffles are going to be a little bit crispy, and we want them kind of crispy and have a little bit more airy, thicker texture to them. The way we achieve that is through eggs and also through the higher fat content, which here we're using butter because we're from the South, and that's how we roll.
All right.
And also to this mixture, I add a little bit of vanilla extract and a little bit of maple syrup.
Oh, so you already put it in the syrup, isn't it?
Yep. And it's just going to kind of hang out. And once they're all mixed together, you can add that bowl to this bowl.
All of it. All right.
And we'll have this batter, which we have right here.
And you said you want to let it thicken?
You just want to let it kind of hang out and rest for a couple of minutes, come up to room temperature.
Okay, so it's not like something you got to do way ahead of time.
No, maybe 5-10 minutes or so.
All right.
And then if we're doing this the way I'm doing it with the chicken waffles, you're going to take some oil. You don't want to fill your pan or your pot too high because you add the chicken, it's going to expand and you end up redecorating your kitchen.
All right, so the chicken, do you want to pre-cook the chicken before you put it in the batter and all that?
I have some chicken here that I add a little bit of spice to because when I do a fried chicken, I like to add a little bit of hot sauce, like the buttermilk.
You can use any piece of chicken you want, or should it be
like.
chicken breast? Keep it healthy because it's fried.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like where you're going with that, though. So yeah, I have some chicken breast here, but you can use a whole chicken, the legs, really anything you'd like. But yeah, I went ahead and cooked it off. I slow cooked it about 300 degrees for about an hour or so, really just until they're done. Let them cool off, so then you can actually add them to the batter here, which I'll probably do in the next segment. But the oil here, we're going to bring up to 350 degrees. And then if you're not quite sure, if your thermometer's not quite reading right, you can just add a little bit of batter and kind of test it out.
It's a little trick.
And it should bubble up like it's doing right there.
So when it bubbles like that, you know it's ready.
Yep.
Now, again, going back to the chicken, I see you also, so you slow cooked it for about an hour.
Yep.
And then you also season a little bit. What are the seasonings you put on there?
I just used a kind of like a Cajun seasoning, like a little bit of salt, pepper, a little bit of cayenne pepper, a little bit of chili powder, some paprika, some thyme. Really kind of use whatever you'd like. It's really up to you how you like.
Right, because what's the trick? I mean, because sometimes you'll see chicken, it'll look great, and maybe the batter, the coating, but once you get to that, then the chicken just has no flavor.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. If you're just gonna fry chicken, my one piece of advice would be to brine it overnight. That way, when you fry it or you cook it, it keeps the moisture locked in.
Gotcha.
Here we're gonna just slow cook it, so it's gonna retain that anyway, and then we'll just flash fry it for about 3 minutes or so.
Okay.
You'll see it'll be nice and golden brown like that, and
Nice.
then we'll finish it up.
So we're gonna so coming up a little bit later, we're gonna actually be getting the coating on the chicken.
Yeah, which is actually what I'll do right now. I'll just go ahead and coat it.
And then, so what happens then the rest of the batter, then that's how you make the waffles?
Yeah, just whatever's left over for,
All right,
for the
hey,
waffles.
that's a great way, because sometimes you're doing batters and you're coating the chicken and then you have that left over. It's hate to go to waste. So
exactly.
In this case, we're going to turn that into waffles and we'll have a chicken and waffles.
That's right. And
I
just
like
a little
it.
bit
I
of
like
maple
it.
syrup and
all right, so we'll
be
keep the pan hot. We'll keep the oil hot. We'll get our chicken coated, and a little bit later, we're going to fry it all up.
Roll our sleeves
and make
up.
this breakfast feast. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too.
With Chef Chris Hill from Bachelor Kitchen, and he's been working on these waffle-battered fried chicken breasts, and then he's also going to make some waffles on the side. And it's his own unique taste on this classic chicken and waffles. Would you call it a classic? I'd call it a classic because
yeah, it's definitely
it's
a developing
good.
Southern classic.
It
absolutely.
is good.
That's right.
All right, so last time you were talking to us about the batter and how to get it just right.
That's right. I think the batter's ready. And I actually, during the break, I put some chicken in here, so it's marinating. And
you just want to get a real good thick coat on there?
Yep, and then really shake off any excess because you don't want to, it's not going to really hurt anything too much, but you don't want to get the oil too cloudy.
Right.
So we're just
and these chicken breasts they're already pretty much cooked through, and now we just want to get that golden brown,
That's right.
crispy goodness on the outside.
And you want that reaction right there.
Okay, so if it looks like that, you're doing
Bubbling,
it right.
and it's going to have almost a little tempura feel to it.
So how long are you leaving in there? You just wait till it gets golden
about
brown?
3 minutes or so. If it's like 350, about 3 minutes, it'll be nice and golden brown.
Okay.
Really delicious. And then what I'm going to do is spoon a little bit of this into the waffle maker. When you're making
So
waffles, you want to make sure
We're
to
making
keep it
use
open.
of our leftover batter.
Absolutely.
Now we're going to make the actual
A little
waffles.
bit of chicken flavored batter over here.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, and I love that's great. It's like you might think this is a breakfast dish, but really, I mean, you could eat this for dinner.
Super great, yeah.
Lunch,
Or
snack.
definitely brunch. Great
Brunch.
hangover meal.
Oh, yeah.
So then we're just going to press that for actually about the same time, about 3 minutes or so. Mm-hmm. And
I guess you got to have a waffle maker, huh?
you do. I've tried to figure out a way to do it without one. And it was just
It
really
just
not
doesn't
a way.
work. All right, all right.
And it also works out great for making waffle cones.
So tell me, you know, for folks that aren't familiar with your website and mybachelorkitchen.com, what kind of stuff you have on there?
All sorts of stuff. Most of my recipes are a little bit more health geared, not this one as much.
Okay.
But you know, I love cooking. I found my passion cooking at a young age, and love being able to share it with you guys and people all over the country. And so yeah, I have recipes, my food writing on there, and most of it's kind of Southern inspired, but definitely with international flavors. Definitely reworked flavors and reworked dishes that are kind of mine. So.
Okay. Are there any like trends? Like, what do you have on there now? Is there something that at this point in time you're really into, a certain type of cuisine, or?
I really try and keep things really seasonal. So right now I try and keep things using fresh vegetables, fresh herbs, things that can come from the garden, as well as making cocktails using the same ingredients and having fun with that.
Okay. And
So-
so if we're talking chicken and waffles, which is probably good year round,
Yeah, sure, why not?
do we need to pair it with some fruit? Does that work well, or is it just
So-
good as is?
With some fruit, I mean, makes you probably feel a little bit more health conscious,
Like you've
right?
got the healthy component, right?
Yeah, or you could even add like some ground up like banana to your batter, or some berries. I mean, usually what I like to do also too is take some maple syrup, put it in a pan, and add a little bit of bourbon, and kind of cook it down so it gives that bourbon flavor. Cooks most of the bourbon out, but you get that nice flavor and a little hair of the dog feel.
Oh, okay.
So these are about done. I cooked one of these while we were away.
Okay. So we're gonna plate it up.
Yeah.
Those ones still look a little too
bit
light.
And then you can always just take a quick peek at the waffles here.
Oh, look at
And-
those cooking up nicely.
It really, the trick with waffles too is you want to make sure that they're golden brown, but you also should be able to kind of pull them right out pretty easily.
Right, or else they're gonna rip if you
Yeah,
do it
exactly.
too soon, and
Yeah.
then that's no good. You got to start all over.
And you want to make sure they're nice and kind of crispy too.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So let's give this one more try.
So what else have you been up to?
I,
Been traveling?
yep.
Enjoying your summer vacay?
I
or
have
is it a
been.
vacay?
I went down to Florida a
You're
couple weeks
always
ago.
working? Okay.
I gave a TED talk a couple weeks ago, so that was pretty awesome. Got some other kind of irons in the fire, and hopefully I can share that with y'all soon. But yeah, just loving being in the restaurant. Yeah, I'm at my restaurant, Three Way Cafe, downtown Norfolk. Not quite every day, but there fairly often.
Just all kinds of involvement in food and cooking and
That's
everything
right.
around it. Okay, so you know what? You can always find Chris Hill at mybachelorkitchen.com. What do you have posted on there again? You have some of your food writing,
My food writing, a bunch
Recipes.
of different videos from segments like
kind of like
this.
how-tos.
Yeah, exactly. How-tos, different recipes, and just segments from different TV shows. You know, I'm here a lot and had the opportunity to do Jacksonville when I was down there a couple weeks ago. So.
All right, just drizzle that. Don't worry. We can put as much syrup as you want.
Right,
All right, so if you see this guy around town, say, hey, Bachelor Kitchen guy,
And ask me
thanks
a
so
question.
much for
Shoot me an
being
email.
here.
Yep.